Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As you see, we are here today. We're going to be talking about child support. It is going to be a great discussion. But before we even come on, I want to say that I'm going to dedicate this show to my daddy. Today is his birthday.
Happy birthday, Pops.
I truly miss my dad and all the things that he's instilled in me. And on this day, I think it's a great day to even talk about child support because he was a single father who had custody of me, full custody. And I do know all the things that he had to go through as a man having custody. And I began just talking about that in general, and we began to have a broad conversation on Facebook. So I thought it would be nice to even start the conversation, but I would love to even go further, maybe do like a part 2 to bring more people as a round table. But I think it's very important to have these important conversations on child support. And it's going to just be in general, no bashing. And in fact, I was very surprised with all the stories I had heard. And one of our special guests is in the building with us is Miss Felicia, and she has a great, amazing story, as well as just want to bring some awareness to that topic. But yeah, so I just was very much so surprised at some of the things that are going on, and we could talk about that more in depth and reform and some of the things that are going on. I want to encourage everyone that we want this to be a very interactive show, so please make sure that you call in to the show at the number is on the screen, but make sure that you be able to call in with your perspective of child support, your questions, your concerns, or just your feedback from it. So let this be an interactive. Make sure you share the video, and we're going to dive right in it. Thank you, Miss Felicia, for being on our show today as our guest.
Thank you so much for having me, Angie, and
Yes.
Mr. Juan.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I appreciate this
Yes,
opportunity.
and
Because
big shout out to the best co-host. He wants me to say the host now.
No, co-host doesn't.
It's a co. It's still good. But thank you, Brother Nance, for holding it down, being there, supportive, and I know this is a great topic that you want to talk about too. So
I cannot wait.
yeah. So let's talk about let's dive in just the basics of why do we think it should be reformed, or what are some things that we think it can change? Oh, we have an incoming caller already. Wait a minute, hold on, y'all. All right, here we go. Caller, you're on the air.
First of all, I would like to say hello to everybody.
Hello.
Peace and health.
How you doing, Brother Juan Nats?
This is my brother Marcus.
No, this is your brother E.J. Warwick.
E.J. Warwick,
Oh,
I
shoot.
appreciate
He
you.
got
brother.
everybody calling in
This
today.
is my guy right here.
How are you?
Best
Yes,
artist in the
sir.
city. Salute.
I'm blessed, Queen. First of all, peace and blessings to the both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Do you have a question or concern or feedback?
I see y'all talking about child support, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yes, yes. So give us a little bit of your experience, if any, if you had, or your feelings on child support.
Well, I am very familiar with the whole child support demonstration.
Okay.
I am currently paying child support for my daughter, and I was paying child support for my son, which my son's mother actually took me off of child support.
Okay.
Which is very interesting because that doesn't happen in this modern day and time.
Right.
Right.
So what was the reason?
But,
was it a particular reason why she decided to do that? That you know.
First of all, I was placed on child support because of some of the typical normal reasons: spite, anger, destruction. So I wasn't placed on child support because of me not taking care of my children.
Okay.
That's a major problem that the system has, that it puts so much control in the woman's hand to determine how, what, and when things are supposed to happen through child support. And us men are left so defensive because a woman can get angry and upset over a relationship problem that you shared with her, and her number one get back is, oh, I'm gonna take you to child support.
Yes, you're right.
And you know what? Just to speak on that, like I tell people all the time, what people fail to realize is once you have children with someone, you are now related. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to like your loved ones every day, but you're going to love them. You know what I mean? You always gonna have love for your loved ones, but you're not gonna like them every day. So you know what I mean? Like, you know, if we can get that mentality instilled, because I personally know that you are a standout father and just a standout man in the community. So I just salute you for even, one, getting off child support, and two, just honoring, you know, unfortunately you had to honor the system and pay your way in. But I appreciate you, brother.
I'm gonna tell you something, I'm gonna let you guys go. When my son's mother took me off child support, it was a beautiful thing. See, child support does a lot more than hurt your pockets. You know, we're supposed to take care of our children.
Yeah.
Now I was paying over $800 a month in child support, and my son was only, I think he was like 4 or 5 years old at the time.
Wow.
And not only does child support, it's a whole thing when you're a father and you're a king and you fend for your child, and you have to go through a third party. So it does something to you. It does something to you mentally. It does something to you emotionally. And then, you know, sometimes you come on hard times where you're making a payment late, or you got to skip a month because something happened with your vehicle in order to get your kids, in order to take them to school.
Right.
And then they strip your license away from you. You know what I'm saying? And then you have to go through so much to retrieve your license again. So by the time they take your license, it hurts you from getting to work. So now you become behind sometimes, and it happens.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, you know what I mean? It does something to you mentally and emotionally when those things happen. But when I got took off child support, I was very, very happy. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't have to deal with the system. You know, like I just felt free. But to be honest, now some of the mental anguish I go through with my son's mother at times about being off of child support, it seems better if I was to remain on child support dealing with her.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
And it's strange because my homeboy's like, yo, you crazy, I'll be happy. But to be taken off, I thought it was a blessing, but it ended up being a crutch. Because she uses it, and she tries to destroy me with it. And when I think about it, after over the years, you know, when you know when they decreased a little bit or whatever, I'm still paying almost the same thing that I was if I was on child support. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because now since I'm off child support, it's like if he needs a toothbrush, you buy it. He needs toothpaste, you buy it.
Absolutely.
He needs cereal, he needs milk, he needs to breathe, you buy the air. You know what I'm saying? Facts. It's like okay, you're off child support, so you're going to do everything now.
Right. Yeah. Well, listen, we're trying to come back as a part 2 and maybe do like a round table. I think it's very important. I think you would be an ideal person to even come on with that feedback, and we appreciate, you know, you calling in and giving that information, and your take on that on this topic is very important. So thank you for calling in. I actually just jotted down some things, but I want to make sure that we could bring you back as for a round table.
Absolutely.
It'll be a blessing. You just let me know when, Brother Nance, to get at me, and I'm there front and center.
All right.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man.
All right, y'all keep doing y'all thing.
Thank you. Wow. Wow, that was just, it's a lot because, you know, I think the biggest thing was like the stripping of your license and just using that as a crutch. And I want to, just because we have our guest speaker, it's a guest speaker, a guest in here. Yes, our wonderful guest, because I'm like probably in the community now. Miss Felicia, let's now we've heard the male point of view of things that they're going through. I would like for you to even tell your story because a lot of people be shocked to hear it.
Very shocked.
So let's even dive into that before we go into some other things. I think it's important. He's already laid it out.
Yes, and I do understand the gentleman's issue, his gripe. Most men have that problem. There are a lot of women, as soon as they have the baby, they get released from the hospital and they go to child support. That wasn't my case. I was married for 15 years, had 3 children, and we split. And 8 months later, no support came in. We split. He split with the kids too. And so I went to child support because I had to. I'm raising 3 children, a single mother, have been for 17 years now. And to this day, he doesn't have his license suspended. And there's an enormous amount, over $37,000 in arrears. Nothing gets done. I get nowhere with child support. Child support treats me as if I'm the deadbeat parent. So they have aided and abetted him to be even more of a deadbeat, because you're a deadbeat without anybody else asking you if you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So they have aided and abetted. It's like they cover up for him. And I get no assistance. I get nothing, absolutely nothing. As a matter of fact, I talked to child support yesterday and asked them, is the license suspended? And I was told no, because he's missing. And I was like, that one has nothing to do with the other. Because if you have a license, you have sound X. Right? So nothing, no license, no license suspension, no payments in 4 months, and nothing is done. While I understand the gentlemen, most men who have the issues, I feel like them, because I'm supposed to be on the receiving end, and I've worked 2 jobs, put myself through school, still raising a child, and 2 emancipated, but still having troubles with getting support. I go into child support services, and they're like, what are you telling me something for? I get no assistance whatsoever, and yet the non-custodial parent get to skate free throughout life.
Now, why do you think it's different? Because I hear totally different when some of them, they're going, for the men, for the father. But in his case, it seems like he's escaping it.
Yes.
So how do you think, like, I don't know, maybe like a connection there, or someone he knows?
I have many theories.
Yeah, because I always hear they will find it, they will suspend the license.
Not in my case, not whatsoever. For one, he's an owner operator. He has his own business. So if they claim that they can't attach money, but then what about income tax returns? I never received a tax intercept. Absolutely nothing. So. And I also believe that if you don't have anything to owe to the state, if the state has nothing to gain back, I've never received temporary cash assistance. I've always worked. So it seems to me as if you do what's right. You're penalized.
Yes.
And the non-custodial get to skate free through life, which is totally unfair, because who does it hurt in the end? The children. Because their life becomes subpar to what it could be. And even though I'm an excellent mother, their needs still cannot fully be met, because it requires the financial and the physical and the emotional and the spiritual of both parents.
Absolutely. And to be honest with you, for the brothers that are on child support that are not honoring their obligation, that's a character flaw on their behalf. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, people think that those that are not paying their child support or whatever, because I have friends that don't take care of let me rephrase that.
Okay.
I have all the brothers that I call my brothers.
They do.
We are very responsible for our
men.
Let me rephrase that.
He said, hold on.
Let me totally clear that up. There are some people that I know that through various channels don't do what they're supposed to do, right? But people think that they have a rosy life when they don't, because they're dealing with their emotions, their pain. Some of them become alcoholics, some of them become drug addicts, some of them become just depressed or within themselves. So I totally feel you, but I just wanted to say that piece, because I was just like, I know some brothers that I don't respect it and I don't understand it, but when I hear the story behind it, I'm like, well, you wasn't parented, but to me that should make you want to be a parent even more. You know what I mean? As a man, you know what I mean? And I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for other men, but but I just wanted to chime in and say that.
Well, I get that, but in my case, both me and the children's father. Both came from 2-parent households.
Oh man, so he already know better.
And
Yeah.
it's like when we split, he
crazy.
also split with the kids. It's like, okay, well, I no
Yeah,
longer
he don't
have an
have to-
Like
obligation
split
to
with the kids, like took
totally.
the kids.
No,
or
no.
split and
Left
left
me
the kids.
Disconnected,
Okay.
not
also
not
gave
involved.
over his rights to them, and still does
Really?
not
Oh, wow.
support. Yes,
Really?
yeah.
That's a whole. That's.
Well,
And-
if he gave up his rights,
He still has a legal
does that mean
obligation.
that his obligation leads? So what are the
not
rights
gonna say
if it's
good
not
question,
if the obligation? I mean, if the rights are given up, then wouldn't the obligation be gone with that?
No, it's not. Court ordered. No.
So what is the significance of giving up the rights?
Religious
then?
in the house.
What is the significance of giving up your rights?
That you would have to ask him because I still
because
don't
I mean, 'cause
understand
I-
that.
because-
Yeah,
I'm saying it
that's the
has
first
to
time
be
I heard
that
it.
because something has to be law. I mean, you can't claim on your taxes.
Right.
So I mean, so
Yeah.
so his legal responsibility couldn't be the same as somebody that got a 50-50 partnership
Joint
with you with
custody
the
or
kid,
whatever.
like joint
Right.
custody. Right.
Right.
But he is still obligated. He has a child support court-ordered child support order. He just decided to
So it just
surrender
seems like
his,
that.
his
Now,
rights.
let me just ask a question. Was that prior? Because I understand what Diamond K saying too. So if is that prior to him getting on child support that he released his custodial rights, or was that after?
Well, it was in the process of divorce. So before we got in court for divorce, the child support order was because it took a couple of years to get divorced.
Right.
So it was, and I believe his thinking was, if I surrender my rights, then I don't have the support order. But the judge is like, no, you're still their
You're
father,
obligated, right.
and anything born in the union is your responsibility. Now, two are emancipated. You know, but I still have one, and I
And
still
also, you
don't.
shouldn't even need to have to go through all that to take care
Exactly.
of your child, period. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
that's my whole
And-
thing.
yeah, I was
Like,
gonna
you
say-
shouldn't have to
Yes.
go through all that.
Yeah.
So
Diamond
give-
K say he gonna be on.
to give clarity to people that what we saying may not make sense, right? Because I guess on paper this sounds strange
Yeah.
that you would give up your parental rights,
In reality.
but yet at the same time still be obligated.
to take care of your parental.
But that is true. But that's true. So but it seems the law is strange.
I was gonna say, and that goes back to even the reform. Like some of the things that are written are so out of date. It needs to be reformed, and it shouldn't even been possible for him to have done that. But
No, it's possible.
I mean, it is possible.
So once you give up your parental rights, you
he's
give up the
looking at
right to have contact with the child, visitation, telephone, stuff like that. Now,
You can't make no decisions
You can
on their
negotiate.
behalf.
Right, you can negotiate something with the custodial parent if he or she allows it, but you're really giving up your involvement in a child's upbringing,
Yes.
medical care, education, religion,
Yes.
stuff like that. But at
So-
the end of all that, you still are responsible for your
yeah, that's what I'm
support.
saying.
Yeah.
So why do
Yeah.
it?
You volunteered to
Now-
say no,
Right.
thank you.
Right.
Now,
So you
the
might
only
as well
thing-
stay.
I was gonna say you might as well stay.
Exactly.
But the
You have
thing
to be a
is,
twisted person.
someone
Right,
may have
absolutely.
gotten his ear to say, "Hey, if you do this,
He
you don't
thought.
have to."
So he thought.
and he thought that was the case.
Because if you hear it how it sounds, it's like you releasing your parental rights. Like it sounds like you just like out of sight, out of mind type.
Right. So here's what I have an issue with, and it's beyond Miss Felicia's story, but even the caller. Sometimes we fight with each other, or we make these decisions, and the persons that are missing out is the
It's
children.
the children. In the end, exactly.
You know-
Exactly.
They the ones hurt. They
And
the
so
ones hurt.
that kind of bothers me. So even from the caller stating that I see some of the women that are angry at the man. Listen, I
Most.
was gonna say it's a lot. I'm not, because I want to say
Well, I
this.
got a question for you.
Yeah.
Because I was
As
like,
a woman,
wait
I got a
minute,
question.
hold
I got a
on,
question
I'm
for
trying to
you.
do my little.
I got a question for you.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so
ahead, Dominic.
and just to cap this off,
Go ahead,
if
Dominic.
you could give up your parental rights and not be obligated for child support, then everybody would just do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you couldn't have that.
No.
Right.
But I think we talk about child support so much,
Mm-hmm.
and people get angry about it. But I think that the real issue is not with child support. I think it's with the mentality that brings about child support. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, because if the mentality was better, you wouldn't need child support. It's just like, okay, like if you had a partnership with somebody, y'all got a business, y'all 50-50 partners. You don't have to have the government come in and say, okay, you pay for this and I pay for this. Because the mentality is, this is our business.
Yes.
We got water, we got this, we got that. You don't need it for that, but you need it for this kid, because the mentality is screwed up.
Yes.
Yeah. But you have a lot of hurt.
Yes.
Well, you have a lot of women who are hurt because they are in it for the relationship piece. And having babies probably with some people they really shouldn't be having babies with. You know, because you just don't have babies with everybody you're with.
And sometimes they think having a baby is going to keep the person.
That's why I said, like,
that ain't happening.
Once you realize that you are related, you know what I'm saying? Like, you are related. Once you have a kid, you're related.
But it takes maturity for people to get that.
It does. It does.
It really does. It really does.
In my case in point, like, I mean, my son's 15. I've never been on child support or any of that. And me and his mother, we had a great arrangement. When he's with me, I take care of his responsibilities. When he's with her, she takes care of his responsibility. But we build. If she needs me, I will give her something. If I need her, she will give me something. And the reason why we did it that way, because we both were growing at different cycles in our life, and we didn't want to hinder each other financially, you know what I mean? But we were still making sure we were building a village and a community family around our child. So you're right, it does take maturity, but that's what I witnessed as a man. I got to see community family. I got to see me being raised by multiple mothers and multiple, you know what I mean, elders in the community and stuff like that. So
and even what Diamond K is saying, like the mentality, like you saw that, I've seen that, and that's why I don't push. I saw my father struggling with that, and he was the one that was on the side of he could have took my mother down to child support, and he chose not to. But in the mentality of some things are like, you know, you're going to do X, Y, Z. He's like, look, you just let me raise her.
So he had to pay child support?
No.
He received child support?
No, but she didn't do anything.
Okay.
And it was a fight and a struggle, you know? And so and again, it's just different with the man having it and a woman, because if it was my mother, vice versa, having it, she probably would have fought, you know, pins and needles to get that. He was more like, he don't want to argue, he don't want to do anything, this is what it's going to be. And so, again, the children are the ones, because it could have been a bad breakup, and now you chose not to be in your child's life. And I'm talking about with my, you know, with my mother, with the person who called, with, I'm sure you said if he's separated from the children, then that's hard, even knowing that your father's not in your life anymore.
And they feel,
and he chose this.
Feel like, why you want to abandon me?
Yes, what did I do?
And then when you have male children, especially, they tend to like, okay, well, the stress is on mother. Well, how do I make ends meet? You know, how do I relieve her? And it's a struggle to keep you got to fight to keep your kids out the street. For no reason whatsoever. You know, so yeah.
So bitterness, and that's kind of what I'm getting both. The bitterness from whichever, you know, the male or the female, but it just looks as though you've just disconnected from the child, and the child grows up. I think that was even something, I can't even remember, was it what's her name, Fix My Life, whatever, and it was the mother who lied saying the father touched her. Like, there are certain things people would do, they would go so low to do, and to even get in your head to even pull your children away from, because we have another, all right, wait a minute, today was good though. All right, hello caller, you on the air.
Hey, Angie, this is Davon. I'm supposed to be there, but I'm running late. I'm watching the show, and y'all hit it right in the nose, and y'all start talking about how it's a mentality of it.
Paul, say that again.
Hello, caller.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Hey, yeah. This is Davon. I was watching the show.
Okay, hey, Davon. Davon's supposed to be with us.
Yeah, I'm running late.
That's all right. I'm glad you called.
No problem. Hey, but when y'all start talking about the mentality of it and all that, that's when y'all start hitting it on the nose right there. Because if y'all have a better relationship together, like you shouldn't have to let the government come into it. You know, y'all made these kids together. You should be able to handle these situations together. Besides whatever happened with you all situations, you should be able to work it out for the kids. You know, because ultimately that's what it's all about after, say, it's done between you know, you and the baby mother, you can't work it out, you don't put the kids in between it. You don't use them as leverage.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
And that happens a lot. Say me myself, I'm on child support. I pay about $1,500 a month in child support, and that's just what I'm just about ordered to pay. That's not counting when I get them on the weekends. I have to, you know, I buy them food, I take them out, you know, I get them clothes, shoes, whatever I feel they need also. But the thing about the system is, I get my kids about 3 to 4 days out the week as well. And the thing about the system is, they don't care about the time that you spend with your child.
No.
Wow.
They charge you still, no matter what. You can be with your kid 6 out of 7 days out the week. If you and the mother is not together and she filed for child support, you're going to pay whatever your income matches up to.
Wow.
I was in there like, hey, I get my kid, and she's right there, you know, like. And she actually says out her mouth constantly how good of a father that I am. And even though I told you how much I pay a month in child support, I take my daughter to get her hair done every 2 weeks. I take my son to the barbershop still. You know, I still feel as though, you know, that's my duty as his father, you know, but
wow.
Even though I'm kicking out that's a lot of money, and I have to look past that. And the thing is, I doubt the shit ever, you know, like taking me off, because I take care of them anyway. You know, besides child support, I pay for half of their after school care. Like I said, they want something to eat. We want to go out to eat. We do that. They need new shoes. I'm the one getting them new shoes. When she send them, well, I ain't gonna say when she send them. When I pick them up, when I get them, and they stay they stay with me from Friday to Sunday. She don't send any clothes.
Wow.
And I think that, you know, that's about to sit. They don't care about that.
And
you don't have to pay what they set you to pay. No matter, like, you can sit there. I sat there and told them everything, and she pretty much agreed. But they like, this is what you will man. I'm gonna use that term. That'll send you away from your child. Because you sitting here now like, I gotta pay all this and that. That's all she gonna get. I ain't doing nothing. And then who's left out of that situation? Who's hurt out of that really?
Yeah, like almost everybody's hurt out of that situation. Kids, the man, the woman, and all that. I mean, everybody's hurt out of that situation. And you know what? It's just crazy because I have a lot of brothers that went through similar situations that you're talking about, like where they paid child support and they still lovely duties just because that's just who they are. I mean, your kids have needs. You got to take care of them when they're with you. You're not going to be like, well, yo, you get child support from your mother. You know what I mean? But it's just crazy because they don't realize that the time is way more valuable than the money. The time that we put in with our children is way more valuable than the money. So you know what I mean? Because, you know, it's fortunate that, you know, you understood and got it, you know what I mean, and didn't let your kids feel the wrath of that. But there ain't too many men that, like you said, that will test the will of a man. Paying $1,500 and you still gotta live too. You know, I know some brothers that got a paycheck
I got
for
bills
$5
too. You know, I still gotta live too. You know, that's $1,500 I'm giving to them, and pretty much still spending another $1,500 a month still. You know, just doing my duties. You know, maybe close that and like so, that's it's hard, man. And like you say, somebody said they take your license and all that type of stuff and miss a couple of payments.
Yeah, how you gonna work?
How are you supposed to work? How are you supposed to spend time with your kids? Like what's the point of that? Of like that penalty? Take your license. If anything, you know, make you go to a job on some type of probation type of thing. Do something, you know, put you on probation. If you don't work after this and that, then if you don't work and stay at the job, all right, then you have to go to jail. But you know, don't take away what gives us a chance to do what the system, you know, says we need to do.
So quick question. So they didn't allow you to negotiate? Like, you know what I mean? Like, even though, like you said, she was in agreement that you spent time and you were doing this and you're paying half of child care and all of that and you got all your records and evidence, they didn't reduce that, or they just based it off of like the cost of living? Like, how do they even come up with those numbers to even say, you know, is it just based off your income? Not trying to get too much in your BI, but I'm just saying, like, how did they even come up with those type of numbers?
To be honest with you, man, they made them up. They they made him up. And to tell you about this, I just told you, and you said it yourself, how she said I'm a good father and this and that. I take care of my kids. I pick them up. She never drops them off or picks them up. I pick them up from her and I drop them off. She don't do none of that. All of that was put in there, and at the end of that, they started me off $2,500 in the hole.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
When I first started child support, I already was $2,500 in the red automatically, and they made that number up.
Wow.
Crazy.
Now, Davon, we're going to do this round table. We're going to do a part 2.
Yeah,
I'm trying to tell
definitely do a part two.
and hopefully you could be there at that table
I'm gonna be on
to talk more
that day.
about
I'm
it.
supposed to be there today.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be there.
No, that's okay. That's why I'm giving you a little time. Now we do have somebody else trying to call in, but I thank you for calling
Definitely.
in, and
Thank
we're
you,
gonna keep you posted for when we do that round table. Okay.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna keep watching.
All right,
peace and
thank you.
All right, later.
There is a calculator.
That's what I thought.
So there is a calculator.
Dom
and
K doing
have
the research.
They have a formula that they
Okay.
put together to estimate and figure out how much they're gonna take from the other parent. But before I reveal that to y'all, I do want to read
exactly
something
what it
one
is.
of the
I know
viewers
exactly what it
said.
is.
So did you see what one of the viewers said? So she said that the custodial parent
Oh yeah.
financially support their children every day, providing food, clothing, shelter, healthcare, transportation, etc. If the parent relationship ends, it does not negate the responsibility of both parents to share financial support for the children.
I agree.
So y'all agree with that?
Yeah.
I do. I agree with that.
And even with my case, when a payment does come in,
Oh yeah, Tasha.
money goes to my children.
Okay, I was gonna say, hey
Give them
Tasha,
their
I'm
cash.
sorry. We had callers, they calling in. Thank you for calling in. I would love for you to share your story.
Yes,
Is it okay, I think it's her end, that's loud. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, hey, I'm calling in because I'm a mother that is ordered to pay child support.
Wow.
So what happened in my situation, I was having problems with my teenage son. So me and his dad kept on going back and forth to court. I tried to sit down with his dad and be like, hey, can you take him? I can't handle him no more. We keep on having problems at home. He decided that he wanted to file for custody. Our son was 14 at the time. So I said, okay, fine. Got to court. I told the judge, you know what, he can take our son. I can't handle him no more. I'm sick of calling the police on my son. I'm going up to school. He can take him. At first, he said, oh, I don't need child support from her and like that. So I asked, could you help finish paying for the braces that I paid inside our son's mouth? Oh, if I have to do that, then I want child support. So the judge ordered me to pay child support.
Wow.
I'm sorry,
And I said, how is that when I've been taking care of my son financially all these years, and now you ordering me, like, I don't understand. They ordered me twice the amount of money that he was paying me for the last 10 years.
You must make more than.
So I wonder, how did they even calculate that? Like,
Well, yeah,
I mean,
Don K going to tell us the
So
calculator.
can I ask you a question? What's her name? Tasha.
Tasha, I'm gonna ask you.
Yes.
Did you make more money than your son's father?
Yeah, I sure did.
I'm sorry, but this is the price of your success.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we
I'm
talking
saying
about the
this.
calculator.
Yes, you should wear this as a badge of honor. You getting it?
It's just funny how
You
they
made it. She right. I'm saying seriously. So
It's funny how they
it
have
goes
that.
by. It goes by the you know whoever makes the most money is at a disadvantage. So they go by the number of children, overnights, gross amount of income of the non-custodial parent, the amount of child support paid from prior marriage, the amount of monthly alimony, daycare costs, health insurance, child support, daycare, and they factor all this stuff in based on how much money you make.
So
No, I don't even know. This is the thing, too, because I was just so upset.
Wait a minute. Tasha.
Turn your phone down a little
I was
bit.
going to say something.
Turn your background down.
Yeah, something's making it
Hold on.
hard. Okay.
I think they included her phone in the support. They took her phone.
I was gonna say I'm trying to hear, but it's really hard.
They compute both incomes and all this other stuff, and however you split your children is supposed to count for something, because how many overnight visits is what it says.
But this is our fault because we can't work this out on our own.
Exactly.
Now you got to be up to somebody else's rules, and we can't act like, well,
Yeah,
your
you
rules
shouldn't
are
even-
unfair.
you
We
shouldn't
shouldn't
even
have
have
to
to
do it.
So my question is, has it changed your relationship as a whole, as a community family? Like, has you paying child support, has that changed the dynamics of everyone's relationship that's around your child?
Well, we really never had a relationship. So when I started having problems with my son, our son, I looked at that and I was like, okay, maybe something needs to change because we need to like be together as a united front.
Absolutely.
So he didn't want to sit down with me and discuss anything. And even till this day, we can't talk. Like, my son is doing work in school. He won't talk to me. There's no communication or anything.
Man. And again,
So,
that's unfortunate.
I mean, and I have other kids too, so that's the messed up part. He only has that child. I have 3 other kids.
Wow.
So it's taking money out of my other kids' mouths. I got a child in college.
Mm-hmm.
So it really has been a financial strain on me.
wow.
And this is just the sad part. You've asked him to be in his son's life for one.
Right.
You didn't
Yeah.
you didn't ask him to do anything other than that he was getting out of hand. He's getting older and he needed his father.
Now listen. So I need to act as
here go Diamond K by
as
that.
her son's father's attorney because he is
Oh
not.
my God.
He is not here to represent himself.
Tasha, don't.
So
this
here, I think this is probably his issue. So you have other children, right? Y'all have one child together, correct?
Yes, yes.
Are your other children younger than this child?
It's a crazy situation.
I mean, they either younger or older.
He in the middle.
He's only younger or older. Or one is older, one is.
One is in
So
college.
he's a middle child.
He's a middle child. I got 2 older than him, and then I have a youngest one.
Girls or boys?
They're all boys except
He
for
trying
one
to do the
girl.
calculator.
Okay, yeah, I'm just trying to figure out. So the child we talking about needs his father.
Yes, he needs
his
his
father.
dad. Yes.
So that's a easy. So what was the pressure point? Like, y'all obviously have some type of communication challenge that he just said, I'm just going to do it. I can't go back and forth with you on it. I just got to do it myself.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, I mean that's commendable. I think that's commendable. My client is very. I mean, so while we paint my client,
Tasha,
Can't be lopsided.
while we paint my client as a bad
we're
guy.
gonna make sure that you are gonna be a part of this round table too.
Yes.
And I will represent my client.
Oh my God, no.
Because we can't have them in the
because
same
he should
place
have
at
been
the
a
same
real man and sat down with me and discuss how we was going to move forward with
Absolutely.
our son.
Absolutely.
Instead of bringing
No,
the
whole
court
thing.
and everything involved.
And that's the
because
reason
there's
we're
more
saying.
to this
Here's the
story.
challenge, though. I know, and I know it's more to the story, and I don't want you to get into the personal, but I'm
Yes.
just in generally speaking, here now we get into the source of the problem between men and women, because women want to tell us how to be the father. You want to say what the real man needs and what he got to do, and y'all try to tell us how to do it, and we get frustrated. Say, you can't tell me how to do it. Then we start getting into the back and forth as to how do you get a man, how do you raise a man, and then we just say, you know what, forget it. And like Brother Nan said earlier, this back and forth make us just throw up our hands and say, you know what. Or maybe it was the caller said, a weaker man said, I just can't even do it. I just can't do nothing. And they just walk away.
As a woman, I
Mama can't
always
never quit.
know that I cannot raise a man.
But do
I
you
can't.
really know? See, men don't never say, you know what, you need to teach this girl how to walk or be more of a woman or sex. Like we don't get into the dynamics of how a woman raises a girl.
God.
So
No,
we
no.
don't jump in that.
disagree.
We let y'all do y'all.
Oh, okay. You talking
We
about
let y'all
you
do y'all and y'all don't let us do us. and this
No, I
causes
let
the
y'all
problem.
do y'all. I let y'all do y'all. I'm a woman that lets y'all do what y'all need to do because
I mean, that's
know
the reason he was there. You said go to your
Exactly.
father. He just didn't know
Because
that you
it's
gonna
like-
take me down.
Right.
Yeah, and I didn't feel like going through this by myself, even though I am married. I have a husband. I have a man at home.
Right.
But I feel as though his son needed him.
His father.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he did.
he needed
He
him.
does. He does. So tell me this: you feel
Tasha was
like I'm
supposed
so
to be
sorry.
here.
I
Tasha
want
was
to
supposed to be here
understand.
too.
But do you
Yes.
feel? So you feel betrayed that when the shoe was on the other foot, you didn't rake him over the coals, and you feel like he's trying to rake you over the coals?
Yes,
and
he is
Okay.
raping me. Yes.
Okay.
Well,
you already established what the problem is. I already see what the issue is.
You're
you already
married.
said it. You married.
You're married.
You moved on. It's like, okay.
This
This
goes
is
with the
really
bitterness.
about that.
Yeah.
Once again, you winning. So you make more money. You in a marriage situation. You in another household. So I'm pretty sure is not married.
No, he's not.
Facts.
I rest my case, Your Honor.
He may not want to be.
It'll feel like
not want to be represented. He said he
can't
can't.
represent him no more.
Yeah,
He can't represent
he
him
can't
no more.
represent him no more.
He can't represent
You
him.
can't represent him no more.
We got to turn him over to somebody else.
Oh my goodness.
I
Okay.
was riding with him. I was the co-defense, but we got to slide him to somebody else.
Now listen,
Okay.
Tasha, we're gonna do. Now listen, I already put it out in the air at the beginning. We're gonna do a I said round. A round table. Part 2,
Yes.
but a round table discussion, bringing the callers and our guests back on here so we can talk more in breaths about it. It is.
Yes.
I thank you for calling because it's very rare to hear that a woman is down on child support. I even, so thank you for calling and continue to
You're welcome.
view and please continue to share
Yes,
for
please.
us.
I will, and I will definitely be a part of this round table. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
gonna make it my
Absolutely.
business.
Okay.
Join me, sister. Join
We looking
me.
forward to it.
Good. You got Diamond K. Oh, he over here doing research. Got the call.
Got the best producer in the game.
Ask me. I've been going
Yes,
through this for 17
research
years.
me,
What you
honey. Yes.
All right. Enjoy your evening.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
calling.
Thank you so
in.
much. Peace and health.
You too.
Wow.
Wow, we
See,
getting some great calls now.
This is
Yes.
a testament that no one scenario is the same. There
Oh,
is
yeah.
no one size fit all. You have the mom who pays, you have the father who's exceptional, you have me who the mom is a single mom, she's exceptional, but child support doesn't work in her favor.
So segue into where do you think we need to have the
I was gonna say
reform
yes. What do
to
we?
make it for those that have to be on child support to make it a little bit more, I guess, communal for people to even want to do it. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think are some of the things that the reform that may be needed to, even though like we agree, no one should have to get involved for you to take care of your
Right.
child, but for those that have to involve, because I don't know if it's true, but I was told that if a person applies for food stamps and stuff like that they have to take their child's father up to child
I
support.
think that
Is
is.
true?
I think that is true.
I don't know. I've never received assistance.
Yeah, so I don't know, but I didn't know if that was a true
I think that's
statement.
true.
It's an automatic thing.
Yeah, you have to show that you have at least tried to get some assistance from the other
They
person.
will find.
Yeah. So I think that.
Well,
So
let me go file for food
so
stamps.
that's.
Because they want to start recouping money back.
I was gonna say that's what
I
it
didn't
is.
think about it like that.
But
Wow.
Wow,
look
that's a shame.
at that because now it kind of make you well, first of all, I have a big thing with the whole system separating families,
about to say,
period, because that's another topic there.
Yeah, you're about to say.
I am so against. I mean, if we can work it out, I do know that there are some incidents where we have to, take the person down. If there are some things that we can do to not involve the government, because all they're doing is they're getting their part too, because they're getting something out of this.
Right, so that's why I think that it shouldn't be like some people do need.
That's what I say. I'm not totally
even
against
if
it.
you are paying a little child support or you're not on child support and you're still financially supporting
Listen,
your children.
it's
right?
a lot, yes.
No, what I'm saying is it shouldn't be because you may need additional assistance outside of what I'm giving you.
Absolutely.
That shouldn't make me have to be on child support because you need food in your house because you had other kids outside of the one child you had of mine. I shouldn't have to be on child support if you had other children outside of mine.
But that's so you assuming that's the reason why that she applied for the assistance?
No. I'm not talking about that particular situation. I'm talking about.
No, I'm saying in general. We say in general. So like if they apply for temporary cash assistance TCA, if they apply for that, it's going to be a automatic thing that they activate this child support stuff because using the logic of if she needs this cash assistance, then that means that that more income is needed in the household, and you got to have the children in order to get to qualify for that. So that means that we need to mandate that the father's doing something because why the hell does she need to apply for this assistance?
Okay, so but if my child is the first child, right? Okay, say my child is the first child. We talking about a hypothetical.
So you the oldest
my
child.
My child is the oldest, and I takes care of my child. Me and his mother have a great relationship.
I see where you going.
Well taken care of, and then you have 2 or 3.
Well, how can it be well taken care of?
Hold up. I'm saying. Whatever taken care of means
like they got the latest Jordans.
Nah,
but the house, but the lights is off though.
No. Anywhere that a kid that's with me and that's mine, that light's not gonna be off. But what I'm just saying, let's think about a hypothetical, realistic situation. All right. So I'm saying my point I'm making is if it's my kid's the first kid and the person has 3 other kids and they need cash assistance and I haven't had to be on child support and they filed for cash assistance, they shouldn't have to run down. I shouldn't have to be on child support if I'm doing what I'm supposed to have been doing for 15, 20 years or however long, 16 years, whatever, how old my kid may be. You know what I mean? And the other parent is not doing what they need to do. Or the other parent may be doing, the other father may be doing what he needs to do, but the woman just needs a little more help. Yeah. So why should we have to be on child support if we already have an understanding?
But like I said, that's like what EJ was saying. That in an instance like that, she could take one off and have another. So maybe the first child's father, who like was you, maybe you doing your thing, but the younger kid's father, he not doing his thing, which might be why she not with him. You know what I'm saying? So she may end up taking you off, but keeping him on. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it is unfortunate you can't get in that kind of situation, but let's not front and act like all situations is that. Like some of the situations we gotta be honest is guys not taking care of kids.
Facts. But also, I mean, there's no excuses, but, you know, you have a lot of people that haven't been fathered their damn self. You know what I mean? To be quite honest with you.
That's true.
And the emotional trauma that has on young men. My father died when I was 10. But that didn't make me not take care of my child. It made me want to take care of my child more when I had one because of what I missed. But I had a strong mother, and we had a different Baltimore, and we had elders, and different type of energy in the city.
That's true.
If we're talking about the last 10 or 20 years of generational things, you know what I mean? The child support has been used as, I'm not going to say a manipulating tool, but it has been used for people to survive. You know what I mean? And to try to live.
Well, and they have abused it too.
They have abused it.
Oh yeah.
On both sides though.
On both sides. Which I'm grateful that we had, you know, both sides calling in and being part of this discussion because it's definitely not a one-sided thing and every situation is different. Like I said, with my dad, I saw even with a younger child that he had. My father had my brother all the time, and yet, you know, he was still down there. If we can't make that agreement, like everybody know I have my little small child. I'm all big on restoring the village. So I'll be like, all right, little boy, you need to do this for your child. But he does it. So I don't have to be like, well, if you don't do this, I'm going to use child support against. No, you do your part. If I need something, so I'm grateful we had that relationship. I'm not going to say it's been always peachy and perfect, but at the end of the day, it's about her. And that's what we need to go. We have to remove you're married now, or you don't want me now, or you don't want that now.
Exactly.
But also,
you know, it is tough. It is tough.
But also,
we gotta restore.
We all have to restore the village,
and we gotta be involved.
We have to be involved, but you also have to be able to stand alone, regardless of anybody. You know what I mean? Like I should be able to stand alone, whether I had the support of his mother, his other mother, his grandmother, whoever. As a human, I should be able to stand alone to take care of myself and whatever's connected to me. You know what I mean? So whatever I get from anybody else is a bonus in my world. You know what I mean? I'm just speaking from a person that never been on child support, but I've seen people that have been on child support, and it's a person that believes in community family. And a lot of times, you know, we have to believe. I don't think you give him any problem because you stand alone firm on
I probably
yourself.
do.
I'm not saying you haven't. You know what I mean? We all have challenging situations.
I probably
like
do.
You said, but I'm
like
just
brother.
Saying, but I'm just saying you don't depend on him to pay your mortgage.
Absolutely no.
Exactly. That's all I'm saying.
No.
You know what I mean? And that's when it's being abusive. Yes.
Yes.
You supposed to help if you know you're supposed to pay where you know your kid late or whatever. But at the same time, you're supposed to be able to stand on your own because even if we're not together, you still had to live with or without me. You know what I mean? So
now I have something with
it's not a rude thing. I'm just saying.
Right. Oh yeah, I mean I get it, and that's why I say everything is a little different. Everybody's situation. Now Felicia she mentioned earlier about he's self-employed.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I have people that I know they're not going to even try to get a job because they don't want no wages. You know the garnishment coming out, and they can do their whatever on the side. Doesn't mean it's illegal. It just means that they don't track it or they don't care. That part I think needs to be reformed. Then you have people that are working, and you have they have their licenses, and when do we say this license is going to be revoked, and why are we even revoking it from the beginning? If you want them to get to work and you want them to see the child, I just think there's a lot in play in that. Now, because you're our guest, I'm sorry, the callers and everything. I want to turn it back to you. Out of everything that was said, like what is your feelings? And I think even with Brother Nance was saying, like, where do we start? Like, what's needed? I mean, it's a lot, but I like to hear from you about that as far as reform or anything you've heard from the callers, just everything. It's been a lot being said.
I believe that accessibility is required. You go to the child support office and everyone is behind a plexiglass and they have a security officer there and you're going to ask questions and they're like, whatever.
Oh yeah, they definitely don't care.
They're stressed out.
It's like whatever. My thing is, if you're gonna show up for work, work. If not, give it to somebody else.
Absolutely.
So don't take the job, and you're not going to do the job.
So basically, what you're saying is they need to make it more inviting and more warm environment when people are coming to the child support office. Like not like it shouldn't be like the MVA. Like you're just
correct. Yeah, you're just enough. Yes, and no.
Don't tell me about MVA.
Nothing more. Telling me nothing more than what I can get online.
Right.
You know, be personalized.
They're just
don't
nasty.
just see me as here goes somebody else wanting something, and you
don't before you even get to the
And I'm like, if you look at my case, you can clearly tell there's an inside connect.
That's why I was just. That's what I asked in the beginning.
There's an inside
I've
connect.
never heard
nobody gets away with all this.
Yeah, that he's missing.
Yeah.
Right.
Nobody gets away with all this all this time.
Now here's one thing. Sorry to cut you off. Here's one thing that I always, I don't say always like I'm always down there, but I used to go down with my dad and then with my ex. But I would go down there like in support, and I just saw all the women. I don't really see the men, no men workers or men supervisors or men like it's to me. Hopefully no one works there and feel that way, but I'm telling you what my take was. There were bitter women working there that probably already had their own child down there.
That.
I'm just saying I didn't see a lot of men.
That.
And
in defense, they done probably seen a lot.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
It's a hard job working for any state agency.
They have
into a bucket.
they have days where they say, what is it? The day that people can just pay what they can. I don't know what it is. I guess they're just trying. Okay, so they have that. I still just think all of that is problematic. Like I don't like it.
What I really don't believe is that a woman had anything to do with the law.
I agree.
I believe there were men in suits who said, "Oh well, this, oh well, that," and a lot of it is to attack the black man. I honestly believe that.
I agree.
And I believe that it should be some of every kind of situation at the table to say this is what works, and not just to let people off, to be absolutely realistic, because our children are the one who hurt and suffer when their needs cannot be met.
I agree.
And not even just their needs, but having their parent there.
Yes. Well, you can't force. Either way, you can't force it.
No, you can't.
Because if a person doesn't want to, they're just not going to. Either
But
way.
but in your case, when did he separate? I mean, they were older, right?
No, it was.
Oh, they were younger?
Yeah.
Okay.
Years and years ago.
Okay, because I was gonna say it's just hard to even separate. I would never like I said in the beginning we had our little ups and downs. You know, when you have your breakup, you go through things, but I could never look at my daughter and know how much she loves her father and be like, well, you can't keep her, you can't see her.
Exactly.
And that happens, but I think it's so wrong, and that we cannot. They're like he had her, had her over a weekend. We have a few days, and I'm not sitting here like, did she do this? Did she do that? Some things I am like, hey, did you do it? But in the same token, you're the father. I trust. I mean, if we trusted, at a moment, we did trust each other.
Right. And then you
know?
do have women who do that. You have women who, because they have feelings or emotions for the man, so they keep the child away. That was never my issue. My issue was, okay, if the woman, whatever woman he was with said no, then he backed off.
Honestly,
it's so,
I never looked at that one.
That deals with a man that don't take care of his children.
You better speak.
And
you better tell it.
She scared me right now. I was like, what?
She is suspect. If she any woman that deals with a man that don't take care of his kids,
not even
says a lot about herself.
Not even taking care.
Especially if she has other children. What are you showing your children?
Have a relationship.
If you got a man in your household
that's
not taking care of his kids, that's insane to me.
That's from a man, y'all.
Period.
Hey,
I mean?
my sentiments exactly.
Period. That's insane. That's no respect. You can never. How can you build something with someone that can't even take care of something that he built previously? You still got to tend to your garden.
Yes.
You
You
know
can't just
you can't
sprinkle
let
your seeds all over the place and walk away from it. You got to.
I don't get it. I don't get it. You know what I mean?
And
I don't get it either.
And you said three.
Three
children, right?
Yes, 3 children.
That's just. It's not
crazy.
even. Yeah.
So we got 3 lives that have been impacted, and luckily they had a strong mother. They didn't have a strong mother. We don't know what children. And like I said, these things spill into the classroom. It spills into the community.
Yes, it does.
It's a lack of learning. They become sad as they get older. They start internalizing things, and then for black men and young black boys, they don't allow the young black boys to even express themselves without it being sound crazy. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry. I'm reading the messages, Lord. Y'all having a time on this on the Facebook Live. So Tasha, the one who called in, she's like, "Preach, Lord, he better preach." So whatever you saying is doing it. But she also said when you have state licenses such as for nursing therapists is in jeopardy as well. So there's a lot of things in play. Even including with license. So a lot of people are really.
That's just not to be on it. Just be
correct.
An adult. You know what I mean? Put the emotions
if
to
we
the
can,
side and realize you're related. The problem
we gotta
is
restore the village, y'all.
Emotion still in relationships. People may say, "Yo, there's no emotion," but if you're still getting upset about what somebody else is doing, you're still emotionally attached. You know what I mean? And until you, as a human, get rid of the emotional part, you ain't gonna be able to do nothing. You know what I mean? It's always gonna be a challenge.
Well, baby is with her daddy. I'm doing a show, and after this, I'm gonna be hanging out. I ain't worrying about what she's doing. But no, I'm laughing. This is your me time. This is my me time. But what I'm saying is that
everybody needs a break.
I say that to say what Brother Nance is so true. You can't be worrying about what he's doing, who is he doing, Like you're doing what you're supposed to for your child. When she's not with me, I check in on the school. I still see her, make sure you're good. And he should be doing the same. But we both know at the end of the day, we both love that little girl, and that's all that matters. She loves me, and she loves him.
What is
so I'm just happy to even have the conversation on my daddy's birthday.
Hey, Daddy. Hey,
Shout out, Daddy. On this day, I won't make a formal announcement on here, but on this day, I made a great decision. To give back to my community in a major way. So that announcement will be coming soon.
Okay. All right.
But I made this decision on his day. And I also thought it wasn't even supposed to be, the show wasn't supposed to be today. It was supposed to be last Tuesday. So it's such an honor to even have it on his day. Oh, Lord, we got another one. I was getting ready to wrap it up. I thought I was at my hour. Because I don't want Diamond K to say your time is up. Hello, caller.
Hello, guys.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Who's calling?
I'm sorry. I didn't know you guys were ready to wrap it up. My name is Bruce.
Hi, Bruce.
How you doing?
Oliver. Bruce Oliver. Hey. How are
Brother
you?
Juan Dan, shout out to you.
Yeah.
I am well.
What's your take? I know I said this is a good topic. Everybody was calling and commenting.
Well, since you go ahead close out, I won't give any like legal suggestions, but one thing I would say on the moral side of it, when you talk about solutions, right? If we could just kind of steer our younger people, especially our daughters, our girls, if we could steer them towards better decisions on who they bake them cookies with, sis.
You're right. I said that earlier.
Honey,
I agree.
you better
If
say
we infuse if we get the legal part of changing child support, but that system probably ain't gonna change with so much. But one thing that we can do morally, spiritually, is talk to our kids, teach our kids, have more rites of passage programs, get more involved doing things like Brother Nance is doing, so on and so forth, with these kids, to teach them to make better choices of who they bite the apple with.
Yeah.
Yes.
absolutely.
We all
That's the 2 cents that I wanted to add. And just give them a full 360 understanding
Of the
of
value
how
of
to
themselves.
choose a person.
Yeah, and brother Bruce, just the chime in what you're saying, and just having a better understanding on the value of themselves. You know what I mean? For the young
Absolutely.
boys and the young girls. Because I tell my son all the time, the ones that are trying to give it to you the most, you need to watch them. You know what I
walk
mean?
away, right?
And you need
Yeah.
to, you know what I mean? Just because it's coming to you, that doesn't mean everything is supposed to be taken. You know what I mean? So I definitely agree with you on that. And because we live in a very hypersexual world we live in right now. Our children have access to so many things, and they look up to so many different things than what we look to. So I definitely agree with you that we definitely have to get the moral compass together, and then hopefully we can curve, because we can't change the laws, we can't, you know what I mean? But maybe we can curve how many people dive into
There
that
are some
child
people that
support
can
system.
change the law. We
Oh,
gotta make
yeah.
sure. We gotta make sure we
Thank
get
you,
in
brother
leadership.
Bruce.
That's right.
Thank you, brother
Thank y'all.
Bruce.
Love you
you.
guys. Peace and light to you all.
All right, peace and health, brother.
Wow, man, I'm trying to tell y'all, this is a good discussion, and we didn't have this many incoming calls. Oh wow! So listen, I'm just
You said you had an announcement.
No, I'm not making an announcement. I just said today was really good. I took a step. I leaped, and that's what we wanted to talk about. But I do want to say that we have to do a part 2 of this, and I really would love that whole roundtable discussion. Everyone who shared it, continue to push this out. I think that we just have to make sure that we build a better community, and have these.
We have to have these conversations.
Have these conversations. We won't know what's going on unless we have these conversations.
And also, like, fathers have rights too. You know what I mean? And a lot of brothers need to realize that you have rights too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So even if you are on child support, you have rights within that system. You know what I mean? And so just, for everyone, just do your part. If you're on the system, be the best person on the system. You know what I mean? Like, but, hopefully this conversation and more conversations we have will just curve people away from even allowing this. We have enough.
Yeah.
We have enough people in our households and in the black community just taking from us. Like, everybody's making money off of our struggle. When
my grandma say, what goes in the house stays in this house. So we don't need everybody all in our business.
That's why we need to take care of it ourselves.
So, Miss Felicia, thank you so much for coming.
Yes, thank you.
I didn't know we was going to have so many callers, but I hope it was still good and you would be a part of the round table. I have one announcement, and then I'm going to turn it over to Brother Nance for his announcement, and he's going to do the outro. How about that?
Yes, I'm trying to do the outro. Yes.
I'm sorry. He did one of my moves when he had some water. Okay, so big shout out to Mervo. Just today. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Let me just do this. Everyone. I'm sorry, guys. He had to go to the bathroom. Okay, that's kind of what I did before I did a commercial break. Okay, so I want to just say, as everyone know, that I used to be the PTA president at Mervo, and I'm sorry, just because I began talking about it, I forgot to even mention this, but our new PTA president at Mervo, Miss Felicia McElveen.
Hey, Mustangs fam. Come on, parents, join me the 20th of this month, 5:30 p.m. Look forward to seeing you.
Look at that. So we're going to make sure we push that out too, and probably even have her back on as a PTA president, talking about things that she's trying to, continuing to do. Perhaps we could do that as well. Maybe we can get the principal. We can just do everything. We can do whatever we want. She asked, was there any rules to this? And I said, no, it's our show. We do what we want to do.
Awesome.
But speaking of Mervo, big shout out to Coach Nixon and everyone doing great things over there. I was actually called today to speak at the signing day at Mervo tomorrow morning. We have about 9 or 10 students that are receiving. I guess it's a college signing day. I'm sorry. So I will be speaking tomorrow morning. I'm very elated to even speak speak life into our young men.
Yes.
You know, so that's a blessing.
You know what? I'm glad that you're actually talking to them tomorrow, because I was just talking to somebody the other day about a lot of people that come talk to our young people. They tell them the same narrative that they hear on TV and all that. So salute to you. I'm doing some great things in Maryland too, but go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. So that's look, and that's the PTA president.
You are?
Wait a minute. Don McKay about to put us out of here. I'm trying to make this. Listen. Okay. Sorry, Don McKay. All right. Listen. We're gonna do this. That was my announcement. I'm gonna turn over him so we can end this show. And we have to do another show with, PJ.
So, I'm going to be hopefully doing something with Mervo.
Oh, goodness.
Some fundraising with the culinary program with Chef Sai. And
look at that.
Having some youth working with us as interns at the food
Look at all that greatness.
So I'm excited. Hopefully we'll be creating the Mervo juice where they can use as a continual fundraiser to raise money for both the athletic program and the culinary arts program. So
awesome.
I would love to get in Mervo too. I'm gonna talk to Coach Nixon, but I would love to get in there to even have a show there one day. Maybe we can talk to students or the coaches or whatever. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And also we're happy to announce that a lot of our vets that we have that are customers of Healthy People Juice, they've been asking for organic CBD and hemp products. So we're officially working with some of the best people in the industry. So I just want to say we're advancing the health of the community.
Woo!
Awesome.
So those are my announcements. I don't have anything else.
Awesome.
This was a great show. I'm definitely glad that we had this conversation.
I'm
and we
excited.
have to continue having these type of community conversations. They're powerful because you never know how you can help someone else. You know, Diamond K got on red too.
Oh, goodness.
Memo, you know what I mean?
I didn't get the memo.
Yeah,
that was his cue. That was a cue. You know how the teacher turn the light.
Turn the lights out. So I just want to say peace and health, everyone. You know, thank you for calling in. Remember, we don't have good days. We create them. Create the life you want to have around you. Create the love you want around your children, especially. And just create the life you want to have for your children. Everyone have a great and create a great night. Peace and health.
Peace and health.
Hey, be better.
Yes.